look like the moon. So we start wide and push the steps in, keep the table down a bit.
This all started with a conversation I had with the folks at Infiniti at the Detroit Auto Show, I think it was. And it was about, you know, how do we create something interesting, something like a mini movie, as it were. And one thing led to another, and before we knew it, we ended up making a short film with actors and dialogue and drama in the streets of LA.
Okay guys, quiet please, do another rehearsal.
You just have to remember to go and get the stuff there.
But I think we should just look at it first, just with him, and not worry so much about her view, where she should start.
Time to do the first take.
Yeah,
Everyone's pretty good shape. We're about to go.
Okay, let's roll camera. Roll sound. Set. Cameras are set. Ready.
And action.
A film set's a collaboration between many different people. In order for them to achieve what they need to on a film set, everyone needs to kind of serve their function and serve their purpose.
Yeah, do you want to do the rack focus?
The director and the director of photography, also known as the DP, is probably the most important collaboration on set because ultimately the DP is responsible for the image. So they kind of collaborate, and then the DP from there takes what the director wants and then instructs what everyone else needs to do to achieve that. In order for the DP to get the shot, he has a team of camera assistants who work for him, who are also known as assistant cameras or ACs, and each AC serves a different function in the camera department. First AC is making sure that things are in focus and the aperture is what the DP wants and kind of responsible for the camera being ready to shoot.
Action.
There's many different ways to move the camera on set. One way is using dolly track. So there's straight track, there's curved track, and in order to level that track you need a lot of wedges. So there's a lot of work that goes into making one shot work for a camera move.
And cut.
And cut.
Cut. Go again.
Cut. Going again.
Back to one.
Going again right away.
End of the second day. Another long one. The sun's coming up. But as Angus just pointed out, we're actually reached the exact time that the film is set in. So right now, technically, we're all headed off to Elysian Park.
The gaffer is the chief lighting technician. He works with the director of photography to achieve the lighting and the quality of light that the DP wants on the set. He works with a crew of lighting technicians and also the key group who work with all the C-stands and the flags to kind of control the light and get it exactly right.
So we're here last day on the shoot. It's about to start, even though it's late. It feels like we should be finishing. But we're very excited because we've got the big camera car just come off the set, Need for Speed. So we're very lucky to have them here. These guys really know how to drive fast and film steady.
One of the really cool things was the camera car that we used to shoot some of the scenes, like particularly in the tunnel. The driver and the boom operator and the camera head operator, when they say we want to do this, they have to know in their head, well that means I'll do this while he's doing that and the other guy's doing this, and we'll end up with the shot that we want. That is unbelievably impressive, just that intuitive teamwork that goes on.
Shot of the shoot, and we haven't started editing yet, but I think it went pretty well.
Right, when you first get the footage, you think that somebody really bungled their job. So the first thing you see is something that will scare a lot of people because it looks like it's got a layer of gray superimposed on top of it and mixed with everything. The first thing that we do is pin out our black and our white point. You know, the most impressive part of the color correction usually is when that happens, because all of a sudden you realize how much detail is in there. We had decided that we wanted to create some distinct color temperature settings for the various setups. We went for a really rich kind of amber feel through most of the interior shots. Some of the shots in the vehicle. In the tunnel and city, there's a lot of really heavy green mid-tones in there, sort of help just things separate off themselves. We wanted a rich, really crushed cinematic look. We went sort of heavy and just dramatic and as intense as we could make it without it being distracting. For this type of piece, not only to build intensity and to help the action along, you have, when you're sculpting in 3 dimensions in sound, you have the ability to route frequencies around, and sound plays a really powerful role in how you perceive the piece. So in my opinion, I think it's at least 50%. In a 5-1 mix, you have your 3 front speakers and your subwoofer and your 2 rear speakers. All of the dialogue, 90-some% of the dialogue exists in the center channel and only the center channel. So the center channel is sort of sacrosanct for that to place dialogue in there. So it's got just that single channel to itself, so you're able to do a lot of more intricate things with the sound in the rears and on the sides and still have that dialogue punch through. Mixing in surround, you never really want to go back. You get used to being able to put stuff in the rear or move stuff from front to back or aggressively in a circle, and once you don't have that, it feels like, you know, you're short on tools.
You always used to wonder when you go to the movies, don't you? You see at the end of the movies the credits that roll and roll and roll, and you think, well, how do you have all these people? What do they all do? Well, now I think I'm beginning to understand. It's a very complicated process, even to do our little film, which, you know, we're not Spielberg, we're not James Cameron. It's a little film, but an awful lot of people are needed.
Yes.
You've 8 minutes. You have the clue.